On Head Instructor?
Bow to intermediate and beginner level students. Students at home, welcome everybody. Before we begin, we have one award. Ms. Sheila Virgilio, up front please. Or come on up front. Everybody want to say it with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Face that way and arms up. Oh, face me. Okay.
Do you want me to do the
Yes.
camera?
I will in just a moment, please. Just give me a second. So, the journey
Journey
of
of
1,000 miles begins with one step. Congratulations on taking that first step. Very good. Thank you, guys. So, hold, stay here just a second. Okay. If you don't mind.
Something go.
And,
Portrait or landscape?
portrait, please. Oh, there.
Oh, I was taking the picture.
You
Sorry.
got, okay, I thought you, I was like, he left.
Well, it's just now 11:45.
And what we're doing just for a second, since you need faces, is just pull your mask down, hold your breath for just a second. Smile.
Okay, there we go.
Say,
Congratulations.
Welcome, glad you're here. So, before the end of class, be sure to give Ms. Virgilio a nice virtual but firm,
Elbow bump.
elbow bump, backslash shake, look her in the eye and say, that's the word. Thank you. You're welcome. Let me put this away and we'll get started. You can start your breathing now if you like. As you breathe, just check in with any tension you might feel through your body and allow that cascade of relaxation flow through and release it where possible. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. And the next time that you breathe out, let's transition into embracing horse. So lower the hands, open your eyes, separate your feet shoulder width apart. Turn those toes in a little bit so the outside edges of your feet become parallel. Bend the knees, sit back. Circle the arms back, circle the arms forward. Good. A little bit of fine correction. It's very tempting to do this with your eyes closed, but it's supposed to be done eyes open. I know I always want to zone out with my eyes closed. But your gaze is ideally supposed to be kind of through your fingers to some nondescript point in the floor in front of you. So relaxed eyes, definitely, but awake and alert. Of course, it's okay to close them for a few moments to kind of check in and relax, but then try to resist the temptation to stay there for longer periods of time. practice. If you don't remember the moves or you don't have time or space to really do a lot of moving Tai Chi, this is one-stop shopping. So this is really embracing horse. If you can give yourself a minute or two of this posture, you are doing Tai Chi. It's the best all-encompassing kind of training that you could give yourself. And release. Straighten the legs. Lower the hands. Circle the arms up. Inhale slowly. And press the palms down to exhale. Okay, good. So we're going to continue where we left off on Tuesday. We're going to revisit that step left, commencement, ward off right. Work a little bit more on ward off left today. That deep breathing that we just experienced in our warm-up, more than anything, I would like for you to just continue feeling that deep, relaxed breathing. Try not to let yourself get too much in your head where you're thinking and not breathing. Because as I say, when it's brand new for Tai Chi, learning Tai Chi is not so easy. It's not necessarily fun sometimes because it's like, and there's this and this and this. But doing Tai Chi is super fun and relaxing, but learning it can be a little bit stressful sometimes. So try to just let that stress roll off you. You will get it. All right, takes time and repetition, both of which you will get plenty of. So to begin, take that moment to center, feet next to each other. Feel your feet on the floor. For green sashes, even when you're standing here, check in. Is your head suspended? Do you have, obviously it can't be a super pronounced tuck, but do you have that idea of a tuck? Shoulders down, loose waist. And when you're ready, step left. So you're going to sink down, feel that weight on the right foot, step left. And as you set that foot down, feel the weight redistribute to even. Both feet again, just take that moment here. Feel both feet engaged on the floor. Commencement. Allow the arms to float up, leading with the wrists. Finger stretch. Sink the wrists, sink the elbows. Lower the hands to your side. And for ward off, left, coming right, shift to the left foot. So yeah, all that weight's here. Keep that knee rounded out. Turn to the right, pivoting on the right heel, form a circle with the hands, right hand on top. Very good. And let's continue. Shift to the right, release that left heel, sink down, step in. Get your balance. Feel stable here before you make the next step. Step back, heel, toe. Shift to the left, turn to the left, turn the right toes in. Let's do that one more time. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. One more time. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Good. Release. All right. If I call out the names, I'd like to see it, please. If you can't see me follow any of them, they've done it many, many, many times. Okay. So, step left. Commencement. Arms float up, leading with the wrists. Yeah. Finger stretch. Sink wrists, so sink elbows, lower the hands to your side. Ward off right. Shift to the left, pivot on the right heel, form a circle with the hands, right hand on top. And then ward off left, shift to the right, sink down, step in, step out, heel toe. Yep. Shift to the left, turn to the left, turn the right toes in. Here. Switch your hands. So this one will be down by your side.
Oh, okay. So I switch.
Here. Yeah. But again, you're doing it just right. You're focusing on the feet, which is what I want you to do. Okay, release. Let me demonstrate that. Face this way. Now I'll answer any questions that might come up. Any questions? Anything that you observe or anything you'd like some clarification on?
Well done.
No? Hmm?
Well done.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Just one question, and for some reason it just, when you're doing commencement,
Mhm.
I know we go this way. Now, coming down, I thought it was the wrist first, but it's
Yeah,
just
it's-
kind of,
It is. You know, I wondered a lot about that as a beginner too. I'm like, well, which is the but they basically follow the same track that they came up. So here it kind of leads up here. They stop about shoulder height, and then if I sink my elbows, my wrists will naturally kind of follow. So it's, again, the application, which is not one that you're required to know, but this is as well. This is, someone has grabbed you and you're yanking out of it. And again, that's why the lower body actually comes into play, even in something as rudimentary as commencement. Because I'm here, I have to, advanced techniques, don't stress this one. But again, planting seeds, I generate it from the lower body, which is what brings these up. And then the lower body sinks a little bit, which is what brings them down, which would be necessary if someone had both my hands. If I, you know, it would be hard to do with just my hands, but if I lifted and sunk, it would have a better impact of breaking those grabs. Does that make sense? So, as always, if you kind of think about what's happening to you, it'll help inform, you know, what body parts do what at what point. Good question.
thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or clarifications that are coming up?
You already answered mine, you actually are rising.
A little bit. Yep, just a little bit. Subtle. So it's, you know, at no point in Tai Chi should you really be all the way up in your knees. So by rising up, it's that little bit and a little sink, but I don't come all the way up to here and then bend. Does that make sense?
It's the sinking that gives you a little chance to rise up.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. But even in my rising up, I still keep that little bit of bend in my knees.
Very good.
Good distinction. Mhm.
Is that like, which one is it, the foundational posture? riding a horse.
You think
It's
it's
with the
Phoenix?
toes,
Oh, a little bit,
and then when you settle down, it's on the heel.
a little bit. It is a little bit of that. I mean, but at no point, at the same time, I'm not coming
Right,
up on the, but
right,
yes,
but
it's like my whole foot stays in contact. I pressure the balls of my foot, and I push, then I pressure the heels a little bit.
And
But yeah,
that's what gives you the,
that's what gives you that lift and that connection. But you really, green sashes. This is intermediate, very good. All right, I'll demonstrate one more time, and then I'll kind of demonstrate where we're headed so that we see what's coming next. So, everything here looks good. I'm really pleased with this nice step. Everyone seems to be taking that moment to really feel their weight here, rooting back to the floor. So then we have a board off right, which looks good. And a board off left. And then from here, basically gonna do the same thing and go that way. Ward off, right. And then some other stuff happens, but your feet don't move in the next ones. But that's what we're gonna focus on today. Yes, sir?
So the two ward-off rights, the hands are in different positions for them. Because at first you're kind of like this, and the next one you're like this. Ward-off, as opposed to the circle. I think I asked you that last time. Never did quite get it straight.
So, same thing, and I know we need to do more, talk less, but it is, I'm warding off, imagining a punch coming here, I'm trying not to get hit. But the same thing is happening here, I'm trying not to get hit, but I'm coming at it from a different angle. Like, again, this is cloud hands talk here, because it's a defensive ward off, like, they go that way, versus I push them that way. So, two different applications of ward off. Make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, so let's start from the beginning again. And we might tweeze our way into that next ward off right. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right, the defensive count. Good. And ward off left, which is, we want to think about it, this was an offensive. I am now making them go that way. So we're basically going to mimic what we just did for ward off left, but we're going to change direction and go that way. So, first thing first, we're going to turn a little bit more to the left so that we feel more weight in the left foot. And we're going to form a circle, left hand on top. And by putting that weight in the left foot, this heel should kind of feel light, like it can come up. So I'm going to sink down and step in, get my balance. My attention is going that way towards the office. So I'm going to step back, heel, toe. And then I'm going to shift to the right, switch the hands, turn to the right, turn the left toes in. Very good. Yes, yes. Release. Let's see, let's do pick up. So let's say we've already done commencement. So we're about to do the first ward off right. So we're here and here. So ward off right, the first one. And ward off left. Good. And now we're going to go ward off right that way. So turn a little bit more to the left. Form a circle with the hands, left hand on top. Sink down, step in, step back, heel, toe. Shift to the left and to the right, turn to the right, turn the left toes in. So when you finish, this is very good, yes, you should be basically shoulder width apart with your feet, right foot forward in a walking lunge. Left hand is kind of out like you're pushing a door. Right hand is palm facing you, up here, yep. Very good. Release. So, you hear us say ward off. What is that? Basically, that posture that we start with, that embracing horse, this is ward off energy. This is, nobody's going to get in my bubble. So you're not letting things collapse in. Now, that doesn't mean hold it really rigidly. It's still relaxed, but just kind of think of this as a space holder. I kid with my class, except that I do this all the time. Like, the best way I can describe a non-combative, like non-involving another person way of warding off, I use ward off to open like public doors, basically. You know, I'll shift and, you know, so, you know, I'm not doing this with my arm. I just, it's a natural feeling, and you feel that resistance against you. So I just play with, I ward off doors. Might try it too, might play around with it to get a sense of how that feels. Because it's not
Something stronger
stronger against you, but you know, you wouldn't like rigidly,
Right.
you just kind of, poof, you know, and yeah, it opens. So, and it's like, why did you do that? The door doesn't say that. So otherwise people can be like, why did you just push me away? But doors, they don't talk back. I feel it's kind of fun. But I'm, you know, also a martial arts teacher, so maybe not everyone would think that's fun. I do. Anyway, all right, any questions about that? Yes, sir?
When you step from the ward-off left to the second ward-off right,
Uh-huh.
how far are you going?
Well, that's going to depend on each person.
Okay.
So if you didn't hear the question is, how far do you step? Like, where do you step? So again, we're going to go back to that step test idea. So if I am here, so presuming that my feet are correct here in my double dragon's foot placement, so walking lunge shoulder width apart, and I'm here, what I'm trying to do is mimic this that way. And so I'm just going to have to get comfortable with identifying where my foot needs to go for that. But if this one's not correct, I guarantee you that next one can't be correct either. So we're here, turn, sink and step. So I'm going to hopefully put my heel such that when I shift, I am back to shoulder width walking lunge. Yeah. So for you, in your case, I would go towards the mirror. So the stance is, the length is correct, a little more back for you. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Better?
Yes.
When do you turn to face the office?
What do you mean? What, like, do you mean your face?
Yes.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Okay. So what does the face? There's a concept in Tai Chi called eye
It's not
spirit.
there, nothing's there.
And this is going to come into, it's probably overwhelming for a brand new student, but it's good information. Eye spirit. Eye spirit follows them all. So basically, this is where, I'm still looking this way because this is where my attacker is coming from. Right here. But now, I would change my attention to where my invisible attacker is coming from.
Just as you start, or before you start, you shift your attention.
Well, think about it. So
Right.
here, punch coming, gotta keep my eye here. But now someone's over here. So I'll, you know, and it just, again, if you overthink it, it'll get complicated, but just think, I gotta, what we're trying not to do is, let me say if I can do it towards the front, is I'm not paying any attention, I'm zoned out, so I'm watching my hands. That's not, it's not really where it's at. But you can kind of trick people into thinking that this is, okay, I'm not really following my hands. I shouldn't be. I should be kind of thinking about my surroundings. Does that help a little
Yes,
bit?
ma'am, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Let's keep practicing. Let's do it. From the beginning. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Remember, this part here is where you get your balance so that you can choose where to put your foot. And ward off right. Reset. I'm just thinking about this, Mr. Watkins. Actually, also, and it goes with your question, if my attention is pointed towards where I'm supposed to go, it actually makes that step easier as well. So like if I'm staying here, I'm really stepping backwards and that feels a little strange. But if I'm here and I look, I naturally, it's easier to line up. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, thank you.
All right, let's keep going, do it a few more times. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. That's okay, that's okay. And again, you want to just keep your hands by your side. You do that too, focus on the footwork.
So we're connected.
It's because it's complicated. Tai Chi is weird. And reset.
I feel that.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone here can relate to, like, I couldn't get my feet to do what I wanted to do.
I'm still asking about feet.
Confused, I'm like, oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah. The cool thing is that you can get comfortable with that feeling. Tai Chi will feel great to you the whole time because there's always unfolding layers of it feeling like, I don't know where my feet go. Like, what did you just do? Including, I've been doing this 10 years, and when I train in my class where Master Gohring teaches, they're like, okay, you're gonna have to show me that again because I don't know what? So it's a process that never really stops. So if you can just be playful with it, you were ahead of the curve. All right, 2 more times. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Good. One more time. And then on this next one, just for preview, we'll get to the end and we'll just preview those next couple of moves. The good news is your feet don't move. So your feet will stay the same and the hands are going to do some stuff.
That idea of the eye energy to the sight really helps a lot.
I love it when it's helpful. Yay, thanks for sharing. Hand. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. All right, so my feet are not going to change position, but where my weight is going to change. So there's a move called pull back. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn a little bit more to the right, and then the hands are going to stay here for just a second. I'm going to shift my weight to my back leg. Then I'm going to turn my waist and lower my hands down, back, and around. I'm still on the back leg. Left hand supports right wrist. Now, I'm going to leave my hands here, and I'm going to shift my weight into my front foot. So now on the right foot. And then, that's called press. And one more move is called push. I'm going to clear my hands. And then I'm going to shift back onto my back leg, lower my hands. I'm going to shift forward and push. Yep, release. That's what's coming next. Green sashes, your job is quality improvement, so really focus on getting weight front foot to back foot. Because kind of like, it's very easy to sort of keep feet in sort of a similar position and hand it instead of back leg, front leg, back leg, front leg. So that's your challenge should you choose to accept it. Any last?
Exhale too. Inhale, exhale.
Inhale, exhale, that's another one,
Yeah,
yes.
don't forget the breathing.
Any last questions before we bow out? Yes,
Yeah, the third shift, so it's like, shift right, then left, that's where my feet say, I don't know where to.
In which move?
The
Ward
shift
off?
right,
Ward
yeah, the
off.
ward off, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And then shift left,
Uh-huh.
and then,
So you mean that transition there to go
Yeah.
that way?
yeah,
So, and it's tricky. So here's the first one, that ward off right. You're okay there. Ward off left, you're feeling okay there, and it's this one to go that way?
yeah,
So, in Tai Chi, there's this common thread. If you gotta go, like to go right, you have to turn a little bit left. And to go left, you have to turn a little bit right. So, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna turn a little bit more this way, even though I'm going that way. And ideally, that will load this foot up a little bit more. And by loading it up, it releases this and I can kind of step, if I need to, kind of stand on one foot to get my balance. So I'm here. Now, it'll help if I look to where I'm trying to go. And then I'm gonna step out, yep, and the key is to try to stay on that back leg first, like, so that by staying here, I can choose, we haven't talked too much about it, this is just your third or fourth class, but by staying on this leg, I get to pick where this leg goes.
okay.
Common beginner habit is to immediately put the weight in wherever my foot lands, and we're gonna learn to not just buy into that immediately. So I'm gonna stay on this back leg, and yes, it means my thigh feels like it's working, but I'm gonna step here, and only once my foot has made contact, and I feel good about where it is, do I take the weight out of this foot and put it into this foot. So, if I were going to give you something to kind of practice that, it would be just exactly what you're doing, and it would be standing on one leg, both together maybe, shift the weight to one side, sink down, step in, feel that weight on this foot. And even if you don't do a full step, just step back to this way, feel it even, all of this leg, come back in. Sometimes I call it your slinky. Find out where the weight is on your slinky, and it's that kind of a sensation that will help tell you where your foot should go. So, yeah, does that help a little bit?
Yeah, it might take me a little bit to catch on, but.
It's going to, yeah. But the fact that you asked that question means that you're on the right track, because you're aware that something is happening that is like, what is happening? So, just keep at it, don't stress. This is day 4, actually day 2 of this material, so you're doing great.
Okay.
We will get lots of practice. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and bow out of our basic training. We follow the 5 parts: faith, respect, perseverance, patience, and humility.
About a head instructor?
Bow to intermediate and beginner level students at home. Basic training is dismissed. Good job, everybody.